Blinking cursors, futuristic cities, pop sensations, and the beep of dial-up connections. The Y2K era wasn't just about awaiting a turn of a new millennium. It was an era where every corner radiated technological promise, paired with an undercurrent of uncertainty. Today I'm going to be peeling back the layers of Y2K to explore the lesser-known treasures of an era that shaped the digital age. For those of you who weren't there or might need a refresher, the Y2K bug was a computing glitch many feared would bring the modern world to its knees. This bug was a result of early programmers using just 2 digits to represent the year and date codes to save on space. So the 99 stood for 1999, but as the clocks rolled over to the new millennium, these systems would interpret 00 not as 2000, but as 1900. This might sound minor, but think of all the systems, banking, power grids, air traffic control, relying on accurate date stamps. As realization dawned about the potential havoc the bug could cause, a global frenzy to debug began. The world went into overdrive, and the United States alone spent an estimated $100 billion, with the global tally ranging from $300 billion to a staggering $500 billion. And while the new millennium's dawn didn't bring about the tech apocalypse many had feared, it was a testament to behind-the-scenes efforts of countless unsung heroes and vast resources channeled into ensuring our world kept ticking seamlessly. In the shadow of the Y2K scare, another revolution was quietly unfolding. The digital age was in full swing, and the internet was transitioning from a novelty to a necessity. Web portals, early e-commerce, and the first forays into social networking began connecting people in ways never imagined before. Companies like Amazon, eBay, and LimeWire were redefining how consumers shopped and entertained themselves. This era, marked by extreme optimism and investment in internet-based companies, led to the infamous dot-com bubble. Startups with little to no profit saw their stock prices soar and crash, teaching the tech world crucial lessons about hype and substance. A lesson many of us still haven't learned with all the constant crypto pumps and dumps and scams going on. But this, my friends, was just the beginning. Foundations laid during this period set the stage for the tech-driven world we live in today. The seeds of innovation planted around the Y2K era would soon sprout into smartphones, social networks, and streaming platforms that are now integral parts of our daily lives. But before all the sleek smartphones and user-friendly interfaces, our perception of the digital world was a bit more wild. Movies like Hackers captured an edgier, more underground facet of the tech boom. But this wasn't just Hollywood's vision. There was a whole subculture brewing beneath the shiny veneer of the mainstream digital revolution. Hacker culture, with its renegade ethos and distrust for centralized systems, didn't just challenge the status quo, it became a significant part of the aesthetic narrative. But it wasn't just about the cool visuals. The cyberpunk genre, deeply rooted in this subculture, posed probing questions about humanity, autonomy, and our evolving relationship with technology. Their art was a mix of gritty dystopias and neon dreams, reflecting both the anxieties and hopes of an age on the brink of a massive transformation. Across the Pacific, a different yet complementary vision of the future was unfolding. Anime was no stranger to weaving tales that combined technology, identity, and society in intricate ways. These works weren't just visually stunning, they introduced to the West a multifaceted approach to futurism. From the philosophical quandaries of AI in Serial Experiments Lane, to the dark gritty themes of Technolize, Japan's pop culture was bursting with fresh takes on the digital age. As these works gained global popularity, although Technolize is still kind of underrated, there was a palpable shift. Western creators began integrating, interpreting, and sometimes even appropriating elements from Eastern narratives. The result? A richer, more layered tapestry of what the future could look like. In my opinion, movies like The Matrix owe a conceptual debt to anime. The fluid action, the intertwining of the digital and real, the questions about human existence in a world dominated by code, all these things echo the storytelling explored in Japanese media. Matrix is still a goated movie though. Parallel to the rise of anime's influence, the world of video games was undergoing its own transformation. No longer confined to arcades or basic graphics, the late 90s and early 2000s saw games evolving into rich, immersive experiences. Amidst the swirling vortex of Y2K aesthetics, a game emerged that effortlessly married style, rhythm, and space-age whimsy. Space Channel 5, released in 1999 by Sega, this rhythm game became a hallmark of the turn-of-the-century gaming experience. Players took control of Ulala, the audacious space reporter from the titular Space Channel 5, with her unmistakable pink hair, shimmering metallic go-go boots, and an arsenal of dance moves. She wasn't merely a character, she was a style icon and a testament to the era's zest for individualism and flair. Crafted by Tetsuya Mizuguchi, a figure well regarded for blending music with gameplay, Space Channel 5 wasn't just about rhythm. It was a journey through a groovy, retro-futuristic universe where dance-offs resolved conflicts and music transcended boundaries. Upon its release, Space Channel 5 garnered attention not just for its gameplay, but for its bold aesthetics. It represented Sega's commitment to innovation and risk-taking during a period when the gaming landscape was rapidly evolving. The legacy of Space Channel 5 stretches beyond the confines of its digital world. Ulala's signature look inspired fans globally, leading to a wave of fan art, cosplay, and even musical tributes. The game, while rooted in its era, still resonates today as a vivid reminder of the Y2K era's adventurous spirit. Another game I'm sure everyone remembers is Jet Set Radio, where players took on the role of a member of the GGs, a street gang battling rival groups for territorial dominance, one graffiti tag at a time. The game's distinct style was a great reflection of the urban youth culture of its era, seamlessly combining street art, underground music, and anti-establishment themes. But beyond the gameplay, what really made Jet Set Radio stand out was its audacious celebration of street culture. Its world was one where resistance was synonymous with art, where youth rebelled against authoritarian control through creativity and expression. The game's soundtrack, created by Hideki Naganuma, is still celebrated today for its unique blend of genres. It's captured the pulse of the turn-of-the-century urban landscape, resonating with anyone who had a taste for the alternative. One of the more obscure gems of this gaming era is one that I hold close to my heart. I'm talking of course about Extreme G3. Released in 2001, this game was gifted to me by my neighbour when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I remember never being able to beat the levels and having to get some of the older kids on the street to beat the levels for me and unlock new tracks when they came over to my house. Guess I was getting boosted in games even in 2004. Published by Acclaim Entertainment and produced by Acclaim Studios Cheltenham, this game immerses players in a high-speed, anti-gravity racing experience set in the distant future, where motorcycle racing has evolved into intense competition of breakneck speeds and combat warfare. XG3 presents a world where racers pilot their gravity-defying bikes through a series of intricate tracks reaching speeds that break the sound barrier. The game's bikes, tracks, and environments are quintessentially Y2K. They're sleek, vibrant, and techno-optimistic, mirroring the futuristic aesthetics popularized in media during the late 1990s and early 2000s. XG3 utilizes the PS2's graphical capabilities to create a blur effect as racers approach supersonic speeds, simulating the disorienting experience of breaking the sound barrier. This was a distinctive feature that added to the thrill and intensity of the races. Beyond just racing, players also engage in combat using an arsenal of weapons to take down opponents, adding another layer of strategy to the game. The Extreme G series as a whole was a celebration of the Y2K era's fascination with speed, technology, and the future. While other racing games like F-Zero and Wipeout might have shared similar themes, XG3 had its own unique flair that distinguished itself from its peers. Its blend of adrenaline-pumping races, techno beats, and neon-drenched visuals made it a memorable title for fans of futuristic races during the early 2000s. I might have to give this one a go one day and see if it still holds up, but the gameplay footage for me is enough to spark the nostalgia and memories of childhood. Yet it wasn't just our games that were getting a Y2K makeover. The very advertisements that flickered across our screens began to echo the same aesthetic. Several brands dove headfirst into this new style, crafting memorable ad campaigns that remain emblematic of the era. Pepsi, for example, never one to be left behind the branding race, tapped into the star power of Britney Spears. In a particular Y2K flavoured ad, Britney, dressed in a futuristic metallic outfit, danced through various eras. From the 50s to a neon-lit 2000s setting, the jingle, The Joy of Pepsi, played throughout, tying generations together through the drink but highlighting the futuristic excitement of the new millennium. I don't remember seeing this ad as a kid because I think it came out in 2001, but man, this is a kino ad. Another ad that goes pretty hard is Nike's Y2K Run campaign. Amidst the looming chaos of the Y2K bug, Nike's ad showcased a lone runner, undeterred by the pandemonium around him, as the streets erupted in panic and looting. The jogger, donning classic Nike gear, remained focused on his path. The ad brilliantly juxtaposed the societal hysteria of the millennium bug against the calm perseverance of an athlete. The message was clear: in a world of uncertainties, just keep running. This campaign resonated with the Y2K zeitgeist, emphasizing determination and resilience in the face of adversity. For many brands, the Y2K aesthetic went beyond just an external facelift. It was a strategic evolution. Adopting the luminescent colors, dynamic shapes, and techno vibes, companies signaled that they were not just ready for the future, but were actively shaping it. Brands wanted to resonate with an audience that was both nostalgic and forward-looking, a generation standing at the threshold of unprecedented digital transformation. In anchoring their campaigns and branding to the Y2K aesthetic, these companies didn't just adopt a trend, they captured the spirit, the dreams, and the aspirations of a pivotal moment in time. Today, we look back at Y2K not just with nostalgia but with gratitude, for it shaped our digital present, teaching us lessons, giving us icons, and reminding us of the power of human ingenuity. I feel like one day I want to dedicate a bigger video to the late 90s and early 2000s as there's so much to cover, but if you guys are looking for even more nostalgia, then check out my video decoding the 2000s through Tiger Aero aesthetic. Thanks for watching, and please like the video to help put this into more people's recommendations, and leave a comment because I love replying to everyone when I get a spare moment.